That's pretty nice. We apparently had the rafters going that time with our studio audience. Whoa, hello.
Bring down the house.
Bringing down the house. Welcome to Reaching the Pinnacle. We are live here in the lovely Pinnacle Studios in downtown Topeka, Kansas. And we are back to bring you a little holiday help. And I gotta tell you, I could use it because I'm like a pro at Thanksgiving. I'm not even a pro. Like, I could probably be a first ballot Hall of Fame member of Thanksgiving because I do it well.
Well, what'd you have this year?
So this year I had all of the turkey, all of them.
Gravy?
I had some gravy. I had a little stuffing, sweet potato, mashed sweet potatoes. I had some mashed potatoes. Green bean casserole.
I was going to say, did you have green bean casserole?
Yeah, I have to. If I
Not
don't,
Thanksgiving without that.
No, and I would honestly take a bath in that stuff if I could.
Yeah. So it'd be a big batch.
It's a good thing the green beans are cheap. So yeah, I went into that taking a calculated risk, and I get that. But not everybody does that. Some people go into the holidays and not really knowing what to do, how to handle it, or have any game plan or any form of.
Well, how many did you have? Did you have just one, or did you go to like a couple, or did you have dessert? Did you stretch it out over 2 or 3 days, or was it just one and done, or how did it go?
Pretty much what I did. I made a plate for Thanksgiving, one that I had to wear wrist wraps for and a back brace.
And your belt.
And my belt. I had the crane and pulley system set up to put it on the table for me, and I went ahead and ate that. And then I had another plate probably 6-7 hours later for dinner. And then I had one on Friday.
Like probably half or 3/4 the size.
Yeah, no, it was not nearly the size of that first. The first one was buffet style. The first one was I'm going to get my money out of this buffet plate. The second one was much
Still
smaller.
tastes good, but
you're
like, I start cutting back a little bit here.
Yeah.
Need to.
And
now,
then, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, do you have the cranberry sauce or whatever?
We don't do that. What we do is something much worse. We
did much worse than that stuff.
Well, so what we do is
as far as taste, I mean,
well,
I don't like that stuff.
I'm talking about function in terms of but yeah, no. I'm not a cranberry fan guy. Although I do like cranberries, I don't like cranberry things. The drinks are lovely, but as far as cranberry sauce, we don't really do that. We do a thing where we cut up a bunch of apples and mandarin oranges. Is that how you say it?
I think so. We'll just call them oranges.
Yeah. If not, we have the live chat up, so holler at us. And then those are the maraschino cherries and grapes and things and walnuts, and then my mom puts that into marshmallows and Miracle Whip.
I was going to say,
and mixes it up.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
And I had a nice big glob of that.
Put that on your turkey?
No, no, I don't put it on my turkey, but I do put a lot of it in a bowl and then eat it.
Okay.
But I do.
Pumpkin pie?
Only one slice of pie this year because I think I loaded up a little on that marshmallow jam.
Yeah. Cream corn?
No cream corn. Corn on the cob this year.
Oh,
yeah.
I never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of it, but not so much with.
Yeah,
I would take that.
I think it was kind of a making things easy.
Gotcha.
Boil it up or fry it up or grill it up, whatever you want.
I'm going to tell you, this is the first. Well, no, I did have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner at my daughter's preschool. She's 4, just turned 4, so I went there.
Sure.
And they had everything. It was like potluck, so all sorts of stuff there. So I did get my green bean casserole there, and
nice.
They pretty much everything there. I didn't eat a lot, but I ate enough. But I think we're onto something this year because my wife had to work on Thanksgiving Day, so we didn't. And the 2 days after Thanksgiving, so we didn't travel anywhere. We just stayed here in town. So it was basically just me and the kids at home for Thanksgiving Day. So we debated going to McDonald's or whatever. I don't think we ended up doing anything. They're 6 and 4, so they don't really they don't know what's going on really. But so we had it on Friday, but since we didn't go home, it was just us. My wife and I and the 2 kids, we my wife Megan says, "Well, why don't you just stop by Dillon's or somewhere and get a rotisserie chicken?"
Sure.
So we actually had one of those, and then we had. She didn't make green bean casserole, which I was very disappointed in.
Yeah.
But she did make cream corn, which I'm a big fan of.
I like it.
What else? Instant mashed potatoes, though, with the gravy. Mm-hmm. But what I'm driving at here, it was traditional but untraditional at the same time.
Right.
But I liked it just as much as the traditional. But I'm not hard to please. But I'm
Sure.
saying that beyond to something because, I mean, can you imagine how much easier it would be just to, if you have a big family gathering, instead of cooking the turkey and doing all this and that,
Yeah.
we'll just get the instant mashed potatoes, grab a few rotisserie chickens from Walmart Deli, and
Yeah.
you're done, and it tastes just as good.
Yeah, you know, I'm
Not
not
any better for you, though.
No, I was going to say I'm not a big fan of I don't know. I've done a Thanksgiving with like I think it was a brisket or a roast or something, and I need a bird. Some sort of a bird has to.
You don't like the ham? That's more Christmas.
That's
I
more
guess.
Christmassy for in our family at least. But yeah, a bird has to go down for my Thanksgiving enjoyment. So yeah, chicken. I don't know, chicken or turkey. I think would be fun.
It was really good.
Yeah, you know, and there really is maybe only a slight difference in terms of the chicken and turkey breast taste, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if you eat enough of it, you pick up on it pretty quick. But
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess
got
it's
gravy on it, I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's pretty much a
So
wash.
my total calories consumed, I think, was probably somewhere around 90,000 over the Thursday and Friday. And I have to tell you, I think I'm still loaded with sodium, and I'm sweating it all out. Like I get up out of bed and walk to the front room, and I've got sweat dropping off my nose because I think it's a sodium thing.
It is. A lot of sodium there. Do you want to hear a story before we get into the nuts and bolts of this program?
Sure.
Well, this isn't really a story, but this is pretty much my tradition. Normally we go home and we go to 2 or 3, just like you talked about. We go to one for lunch, go to one for supper. You have the leftovers, and then the next day somebody else has one, so you go over there and 2 or 3 day event, right? Typically, what happens when I do that is I do have the sodium problem sometimes.
Yeah.
But usually I tell people I end up losing a couple of pounds over Thanksgiving.
Sure.
No, it's not real weight loss, or it's not real weight gain with the sodium.
Right.
But I'm saying it's interesting how people react differently, and people always ask me, "Well, what do you mean?" So, well, usually what happens is I don't eat as much in the morning because you kind of like pacing yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So over the course of a day, when you don't have
Resting.
snacks in the middle of the day, you don't really have much for breakfast or not as much.
Right.
You're just waiting around to eat. I probably still eat more calories, maybe, but my body gets thrown off a little bit, and usually I come back home, and I'm traveling too normally,
Yeah.
so I'll be a couple pounds lighter sometimes after the Thanksgiving or Christmas holiday. But I don't have a lot of the other. I mean, this might be a good lead-in because I think the problem is, is people make this not a 1 or a 2 day event. They make this a 1 or a 2 month event.
Right. There's certainly a valley that should be had between
because
the
it's just
December
not.
holiday and Thanksgiving
I
holiday.
was always bewildered by, like, you're so worried about one meal.
Yeah.
Like, eat what you want.
Yeah.
It's one meal or maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But what happens is we have the Christmas parties for work and for home and for whoever. I got to go to my husband's
Grandparents.
Christmas party. I got to go to this. I got to have all the cookies they bring to work and the candy, and we're going to go out for lunch just because it's almost Christmas and we want to. So it just turns into a 60-day eat all you can eat buffet,
Right. Well, and I think
that's where the problem
Right.
probably lies more than anywhere
And I think
else.
on those days also, what tends to mess things up is they're all day events. So rather than the one meal, you're picking at stuff.
Yeah, the
all
food's
day.
out there all day.
All day.
You have the candy trays and the cookies that you snack on before, the 6 o'clock.
Deviled eggs or something, and
Oh, I love
ants
those.
on a log, all that good stuff. But yeah, no, I think you're totally right, and I think that if you leverage your time properly, and we'll get into more tips other than this. This is not the, all right, thanks for listening, see ya. But I think if you leverage your
No,
time
I think
properly,
that's probably good.
if you think about the time between Thanksgiving and whatever December holiday, you
And it's
celebrate.
New Year's.
And then
so
New
really,
Year's,
it's
so you
a
have even
good
more.
30 to 40 days
Yeah.
of just extra events and,
Yeah. just let that Thanksgiving meal or meals get out of your system first before you start going hard on the other holiday stuff. Maybe I think would be something to think about.
Well, what do you think about? I've seen some stuff on the Facebook. This new age technology called Facebook.
Sure.
And I don't know. I've got mixed opinions on it. But, you'll see somebody that's like a fitness guru. Mm-hmm. I don't know if people consider us that or not, because if they do, we're not.
No,
so
we're just life
cavemen,
gurus.
pretty much.
Cavemen gurus.
Yeah, training like they did in the 1800s. But anyway, they'll have all these strategies for, not gaining weight over the Thanksgiving dinner day. And it's stuff like limit your carbohydrate intake for 3 days, bring down your by 50% day 1 and 75% day 2, and by then your glycogen stores will be depleted, and you can just eat all you want, not gain any weight. And they make a big deal out of this.
I'm already got a headache for that.
I'm like, but people are eating this up on there. They're like, oh yeah, so and so says this and that, and they're
it's like you're doing a
like what is this?
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know.
It's like you're having normal people, and no offense when I say normal, I mean normal as in non-bodybuilder people, doing like almost like a last week of prep before a show, and that I wouldn't expect anybody to do that type of thing.
Well, all that's going to happen. I kept thinking, well, if you starve yourself for 3 days before Thanksgiving,
you're going to eat everything, and you're going to blow up like a balloon.
You're going to make up for it real quick.
Well, and that's the thing is a lot of people don't understand is that when you deprive your body of carbohydrates, and then when you go nuts on Thanksgiving, carbohydrates and the inherent sodium you're going to consume is going to make you retain water like crazy, and you're going to feel bloated.
Retain more water in Hoover Dam.
Exactly. You're going to feel bloated. You'll probably be bloated. You'll do the thing that I do. Your eyes will get all puffy when you wake up in the morning and stuff. So, which they still are. I'm still trying to get rid of all that junk out of my system, and my lips have not touched Thanksgiving for probably, I don't know, 6 days.
It just takes a while.
It takes a while. So if you can imagine depleting your carbs and then jamming your mouth full of sodium.
This is what I've noticed. To expand upon that,
sure.
One of the better strategies I would recommend is eat your normal food routine or whatever leading up, even the day of. Get up and have a healthy, like your breakfast, right? Have something filling. Doesn't mean you have to eat cinnamon rolls and that kind of thing, but have your eggs and have some oatmeal and have something that sticks with you. Have a decent lunch. Something filling again, but healthy. That way, when you have that Thanksgiving Day supper or whatever, you're not inclined to eat as much because you're somewhat full and satisfied. What happens is when you get hungry, when your body realizes it's hungry, I mean, it's really not hungry necessarily, but when you start feeling low blood sugar and you kind of get that feeling, that's when you just devour food.
Yeah.
Plate, couple of plates, and then you want the dessert. And if you're already somewhat full going into it, you'll enjoy yourself, but you're less tendency to go overboard, I guess.
Right.
Right. So I think starving yourself for 2 days or even 6 hours before Thanksgiving dinner comes around is probably the worst thing you could do. Unless you have a ton of self-control and you're like, I'm only eating mashed potatoes, turkey, and 1 piece of pumpkin pie, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, who can do that?
Yeah. Well,
the hell's the point of Thanksgiving if you're not going to have some fun?
Exactly. Well, and this year I had some errands to run, some homework to do, and I actually came. I did a workout beforehand, so I was actually able to time my Thanksgiving with my post-workout meal. So I was ravenous as it was. So I ate with no remorse. But what do you think about
I'm eating now.
Well,